Hello from my beautiful paradise home. This is a little video on some things I've learned so far on this path, on my journey of healing. It's been about 9 months now, and so far I've been experiencing the most amazing transformation. The people who are around me in my day-to-day life, they've just been a witness of it. It's been huge. So initially I began this path because I had a lot of dense physical issues, which was my heart palpitations, chronic fatigue, candida. I had water retention so bad in my legs, they were rock solid and really painful. I had receding gums, and just felt blocked in life. And what I've begun to feel that initially it is these denser issues that we're working with, and that's also combined with also having a denser connection to this world, because when our bodies are all the time painful and heavy and don't feel good, we are all the time kind of in connection with our body not feeling very good, and in connection to that denser vibration. And probably most of us whose bodies don't feel good, we are having like thoughts of, you know, life is meant to be a struggle in some way, and money is a struggle, relating is a struggle, and just get on with it, do your best. Yeah. So I didn't know this when I started. This journey is so interesting, how it's unfolding. It is so interesting. But yeah, I've done a video a little while back called "The Issue is in the Tissue," and how true that is as I keep evolving along this journey. So initially I was there healing my denser physical issues, and it's kind of sad, but that's what most of this world is. We're stuck in just the physical. The whole medical society is just about physical, these denser issues, and it seems kind of like new agey, or just fluff, or just, you know, I've just been told to, you know, just knuckle down, get an office job, stop at all this kind of stuff. But I've always had a yearning that there's more to life than just what we see. And through clearing these denser pains and weighty issues in my physical being that were weighing me down, I now feel my system, my being, is more in touch with another realm of living in this world. I'm not saying that I'm on the path of enlightenment or being holier than thou. If anything, this journey is so humbling, because everything we may or may not be aware of that we are doing to keep ourselves in this dense physical world and to keep ourselves in our pain takes huge work to release. And for me, this is really humbling. But I do feel that although I still have a lot of work to do to completely heal this body and rejuvenate it, that I'm more in a chapter now of where it's moving into finer tuning of issues, and that is reflected outwardly in finer tuning of my life. I feel like now I don't have any baggage in my life. I don't have issues with people I need to sort out. I don't have debt. And now it's more finer tuning into creating a life that is a heaven on earth. And I'm finding the way. I'm beginning to live this, and it's unfolding so much, so fast. And for me, it's totally related to the physical, to clearing that denseness in our body. And yeah, it's taken me about 7 months to be able to actually see this more clearly. Initially, when I was moving between fasting and then the mucus free and then heavier foods and then eating too much, and I felt sometimes trapped by not able to feel balanced in what I'm putting into my body and emotionally imbalanced. But what I feel from my journey so far is that this is not just healed by a quick fix, by just like jumping into like a super long fast. That I believe that this journey is better to be done gently, and that every little thing that I've done, every little chapter where I've ate more mucus free, and every time I've done a fast, regardless of if I have eaten perfectly afterwards, it's all added up on the physical realm and the emotional realm and the vibrational realm. It's all added up. All these little changes have added up, which has been a really, 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 really beautiful learning. Just a learning also that I keep getting reminded all the time that, you know, us humans, we want things now, sorted now, and if we don't see results now, then it's not working and it's really hard to trust. And I feel that this path is actually more of a lifestyle than a quick fix. And it's just a trust that, yeah, just slowly, gently, and learning step by step on the way. It took me 7 months to really, really feel it and to understand where this journey is going, kind of on the ecstatic realms, on the orgasmic realms, where this journey is going. I know some friends have been in touch, they've just jumped straight into a fast or straight into mucus free from where they have been in their own diet or where the state of their body is, and they've had quite painful detox symptoms. I had in my first fast quite a lot of painful symptoms as well, and this just showed that my body was releasing more toxins from the cells that was being eliminated from the body. So yeah, it's okay to journey these painful symptoms, but they can also cause a little bit of damage. And that's why I feel that this journey is very interesting, because most of us are actually unaware of how deeply toxic we are. And it takes until we try and cut out some of our comfort foods, our meat, animal products, milk, dairy, grains, that we begin to have symptoms of fatigue and headaches and cravings, and this is just all signs of our toxicity. So I love in this journey, how I've been journeying it is just kind of with a joy, with a touch of discipline, of just moving one direction, and then I start to feel my body getting all blocked up, and then going, okay, I need to move lighter now, and then I'll feel kind of, oh, that's a bit too light, I'm detoxing more than feels good right now, I'll do a proper fast later, and so this journey is really just bringing me back to feeling empowered in my being. And the main part of empowerment that I'm receiving from this journey, it has been the journey from complete confusion of feeling so sick and so overwhelmed last year. I didn't know what to do but go to hospital, where ultimately I knew they were going to just pump me up full of drugs and they scheduled me for an operation. Anytime we go to the hospital or doctor, like, this is always going to be the ultimate, you know, treatment or cure is just drugs. But I didn't know what else to do, and I am actually really grateful that they were there for that and for the learnings I got from it. But what I'm learning now is that the whole medical system and kind of what's out there as the way to follow, the safe way to follow, is just the scientific approach to the body. But our body is a living organism. It's not a scientific experiment. You know, science just seems to see things in isolation. It doesn't see the whole bigger picture, or at least that's my understanding of it. For example, when I had heart palpitations, the scientific approach is, oh, you need magnesium, and because that has a part to play in it. And fair enough, it does have a part to play in it, but what detox teaches is to backtrack to what is the root of the issue. The root of my heart palpitations, I believe, from my experience in healing now, is being from completely depleted adrenals. So I can take all the magnesium I want, and believe me, when I was really sick last year, I was taking so much magnesium and so many other supplements. But they're all just kind of band-aids if we don't backtrack to what the actual root of the problem is and begin healing from the root. And that's why so many of us have candida for decades and, you know, skin issues for decades, because we don't know. We've never been told, shown that we need to backtrack to the root. The medical system, the scientific system will only ever give the very isolated answer, put on a cream, anti-inflammatories, something like this. It'll never backtrack to the root, and our body remains out of balance. And in a state of just not feeling as good as it can be, as good as our birthright is. Like, you see how good little children's bodies feel. They can't stop moving, it feels so good. And then as we get older, almost everyone, the body kind of just, you know, we get a bit heavier, we solidify, we complain about not having any energy. And yeah, sure, like, that's not to say that life doesn't get challenging and busy. I totally understand that, but I just witness in myself how much of this story I've taken on as reality of getting older. Because before I ended up in hospital last year, when I was quite tired all the time, like, and I was just working so hard all the time, I was like, oh, this is just getting old, you know, you have aches in your body and you feel kind of tired. And no, not at all. This was just acidity in our body. Because basically the body is made up, there's two sides of chemistry, there's acid and alkaline. And when our body is more in the acid side of chemistry, this is from the acid forming foods, which is mainly any animal product is acid forming. Even if they do something good for our body, like the bone broth and things like this, they still leave an acid residue in our body. And the grains are also quite acid forming, and probably also their acid forming thoughts and mind frames and way to be, like resentments and yeah, things like this are probably gonna hold acids in our body too. But as long as the body is in a more acid place than alkaline, we're gonna have pain in our body, we're gonna have inflammation. So yeah, this is also very beautiful as I journey this path. Once in a while I'll wake up with like this pain in my hips, or my face will be really puffy, and I'll know it's because I ate foods that are acid forming. And just, that's what I'm loving about this, is I'm just learning what does what, and not this list of eat this, don't eat that. It's an actually learning from embodied experience. And about 2 weeks ago I had one of the most beautiful weekends ever, but I only had about 5 hours sleep the whole weekend. And what followed after that is my heart palpitations came back. And I felt really shaken by that, and I felt really embarrassed about it, because I've been speaking about this path of health and how much I've healed. And what? These came back? Oh my gosh, like, I can't say anything about this, but I really want to be really transparent on this journey. This is such a wildly, fantastically deep journey that I'm on, and I'm just learning as I'm going. I'm just learning as I'm going. It's so interesting because our bodies are such incredible organisms. There's no book that can tell you about truly how they work and how the body can evolve. And so the beauty of what came to me with the heart palpitations was that it was extremely humbling, because I have already learned how to backtrack and understand the root of the heart palpitations, which is my adrenals. and also lymphatic congestion. And just go, right, yeah, look, I've been overdoing the things that deplete my adrenals. So this path has been so beautiful. It was both humbling, and then it just helped me refocus, because when I was sick, before I understood like actually how to get back in my body, have a body that feels good, I always lived feeling shit pretty much and just pretending I was fine, but always I felt heavy, and always I never felt very good, probably since my early teenage years. But now what I'm understanding is that now I can feel my body again, and there's certain parameters that I can live between in regards to food, sleep, what I put into my body, what I take out of my body. And now it's really clear to me what these parameters are. So I can go into the mucus foods, but there's a certain parameter where I need to stop, or else I'll start to feel sick, start to feel bad. And this is just so fantastic. This is really empowering. And that just showed me that I went over the parameter of sleep deprivation, because like my whole teenage and 20s was all about partying and very little sleep. So, you know, in my mind it's fine, you know, I'll sleep, you know, later in the week. But in this chapter now of fine-tuning, in order to feel very good every day, I need to stay between these parameters. And now I no longer want to feel shit. I don't want to feel unworthy and not good enough, and I don't want to feel unattractive and heavy and, you know, not a gorgeous goddess in this life. I want to feel all these every day, and it's my birthright to feel this. So it's so very interesting, and I feel the only reason why I feel able to even choose to live between these parameters and not do the self-destructive things is because through this detoxing I've cleared out a lot of that heavier, denser vibration of self-destruction out of my body. So yeah, with that adrenal story, it comes to me the phrase that we're only as strong as our weakest link. And my weakest link is my adrenals from decades of deep deprivation. I've really got to watch them and be mindful of them, although the body is starting to really heal. The adrenals are my weak link. Yeah, another thing I just wanted to share is on this path, the digging deeper is an important part of the process. It depends, you know, I have to really honor friends and family, both those who, you know, love all the mucus foods and they're doing really well in their life, and those who are really sick and don't want to change. I'm not here to push anything on anyone. But there are the friends who are feeling sick and want to change and have tried with just, you know, moving on to lighter foods, maybe a day or two on the grape juice, and it's not doing a huge amount of difference for their system. And what I feel with that is that it's kind of just like the supplements, that, you know, putting good on top of bad is going to help a little. It's not going to make the situation worse, and yeah, it will help a little. But imagine we're just piling on good stuff on top of a body that's quite solidified inside with a lot of like cemented in mucus and toxins. So that's why at times to dig deeper, not all the time living in this digging deeper, but at times just to dig deeper, pull out a lot of that old stuff, and then go back to eating and then integrate, which has pretty much been my chapter, my story this year. I've had 2 longer fasts in February and May where I dug deeper, and then the rest has just been integrating, because each of that digging deeper is just pulling out so much stuff that's been cemented in there. And my next long fast starts in about 2 weeks, which will be my last one for this year and for a while. I think it's going to be big. Just one other thing I wanted to mention. that's coming to me is that, sorry, this video is so information filled. I'm just home on a little 2-day break before I head off again, and really just had so much to share. So thanks for staying with me, and I hope it's helpful what I'm sharing. I hope some of it resonates. The last thing I wanted to mention that I've begun to experience is, and yeah, a few of you have shared with me that you're having some similar experiences too, is that these days, if I eat a lot of heavy food, if I have like loads of beans, or a lot of heavy foods, I'll actually wake up the next morning with sore kidneys. And what I'm beginning to realize is that although in the past I would have never thought my kidneys have a problem, never had kidney pains, and they seem to be functioning fine, no issues there. But since the path of detox in the last about month and a half, 2 months, if I eat anything heavy, the kidneys start getting sore. And this path of detox is really, really interesting because, you know, doctors don't speak about it. They're not trained in it. It's not out there in huge amount of scientific reports as this is a path to heal. So it's basically not generally regarded as, you know, anything kind of but fluff, you know, hippie stuff, or it's not really regarded as a serious way to heal. So there's not a lot of information out there on the journey of detox. That's why I'm so blessed to be part of the Living Mucus-Free group run by Alexandra. She's amazing. She's been on this journey about 5 years and been really helpful. So what I'm understanding is that my kidneys have begun to become unsolidified and have begun to open and become more porous. This seems to be a slow journey. I guess they're related, they're connected to the adrenals, so the depleted adrenals will affect the kidneys opening. But I'm kind of midway on this journey of discovering the kidneys opening. And of course, because they're more open, they're more porous, when they get overburdened by a lot of food and a lot of acidic food, they have a lot of pain. So, very interesting journey all in all. And you know, part of me just feels like it's unfolding so fast that I don't need to, you know, why dig in deeper to another fast? It's already really unfolding. But there's some calling to do this. But I feel really grounded now in this journey and really peaceful and aware of what I'm doing. And the rest shall be revealed. I know that there are probably many other ways in this life that we can journey to feel good and to raise our consciousness and our vibration, but I don't think that there's any path but detox that can actually make living in the body feel so good. And I begin to feel myself and my body melting into a union like two lovers entangled, of this deep communication and conversation, me and this body kind of becoming one. And so this enables me to let go of living in the denser vibration of constantly living with pain and aches and body issues, and walking this life in a body that feels a lot of the time very orgasmic to be in, kind of peacefully orgasmic, meditatively orgasmic to be in, as well as outwardly. But yeah, I feel just walking a life in a body that feels really good, that my energy is now moving into other dimensions, deeper feeling and deeper intuition, and I feel like a level of working and living with magic in my day-to-day life. So I'll leave it at that for now, and yeah, feeling blessed, grateful, humbled, and love to hear from you if you have any feedback. And with that, leave the message to live your nectar. And if I can help in any way, I would be so honoured. Lots of love.